you've got an ambition right now, which is go from 70 units to 1,000 units. What would you say would be right now in the current market would be the biggest constraint? What's the biggest hurdle that you've got to overcome to be able to achieve that ambition?
I was waiting for that question. I knew that would come in the discussion. So in the current market, I would say the sentiment is the biggest hurdle. The sentiments that funders would have, the sentiments that surveyors would have. That's the only hurdle I see. We will do whatever we have to do to make it happen, but we do rely on surveyors to kind of have a positive outlook and banks to have a positive outlook, and I think that's what the hurdle is. But if everybody starts thinking about it and starts building, pretend, as we say, then yeah, we will have to get past these hurdles. Right now, I think there is a lot of sentiment that needs to change. People have to start thinking positive. They have to do their part rather than saying, I don't know, let's just hold on to it. And that's hold on to it throughout the country causes bigger issues.
Yeah, we are in a part of the cycle, in the boom bust cycle, which everybody is a little bit fearful. Their costs are going up. You've got rising energy prices. You've got general inflation, 10% plus. You've got interest rates on the rise. So it's kind of natural for them to start to feel like I need to hang on to this money.
Yes, Sam, you're right. But look at it like this, yeah. You're in a boat on a sea and the storm is coming. Let's say the storm is coming. Is that the time to sit and watch the storm coming, or is it time to kind of paddle your boat faster? That's what I'm saying.
I'm on the paddle your boat faster.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to do more rather than doing less. And my issue right now is people thinking, it's foggy, I don't know what to do, so let me just do nothing. And doing nothing is never good.
The rabbit and a deer in a headlights. People freeze when they see the hurricane coming, they see the storm coming, they see the wave coming, and they just freeze. But would you go so far as to say that is the natural reaction for most of the people, and that's why generally these things happen? And then there's always, like, maybe not the 1%ers, but there's the small minority, maybe the top 10, 20%, who are a little bit, can think 5 steps ahead, and therefore they're able to make money, and no matter what the market shows them. And then just the rest of people, unfortunately, there's this guy called Yanis Varoufakis, the Greek ex-Greek finance minister, and he wrote a book. I really like the guy, and I think he's said some really interesting things. But he wrote this book called "The Weak Suffer What They Must." And what do you think of that statement?
Yes, that statement is right. I totally agree with that. And my take on these things is that, yes, there's no denying that things have changed since last year. A lot has changed. Cost of living, volatility in the stock market, everything else in the political scene has changed. I'm not denying any of that. I'm not saying close your eyes and move forward. But I'm saying don't freeze. Proceed with caution, but proceed. That's what I'm saying.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I'm in the same game as you, right? So I do the investment stuff, certainly don't do the development to the scale and size that you guys are doing it, but I'm also in the finance space. So to a certain extent, I need the market to have some sort of activity. If it all dries up, then we all suffer, So we need to keep things moving, but proceed with caution, I think, is...
Yeah.
In what ways can people proceed with caution? What sort of things they should be doing? So, for example, one of the things that I always think about is stress testing. When you're putting deals into an appraisal, push the numbers up, push the numbers down, check all the variables, see what the worst case scenario is. Have you put all your eggs into one basket? Could you lose everything, or would you just lose a small portion of what you're worth? What are the sort of things do you think that people should be doing to be able to proceed with caution?
I'll give you an example from our side. Yeah. So if we do a lot of projects, so let's say we do 20, 30 flats in a year, we'll probably do only 10, 12, 15. But we will not stop. We will proceed with caution, and that's what I mean. And as you said, stress test a bit more. But don't prepare for the worst case, please. Please don't. Because if everybody starts preparing for the worst case is what we're preparing for, isn't it? So, yeah, don't prepare for the worst case.
Worst case is Armageddon and the whole world comes.
And
World War III,
yeah,
possible?
everything is possible, but then, I mean, even through world wars, businesses have to carry on.
True.
We are reliable businesses. People are reliant on us for services. People are reliant on us for jobs. Economy is relying on businesses. If everybody just said, oh, let's just put a stop. Let's prepare for the worst case. Really?
Yeah, literally. If everyone sat on their hands, it would be a race to the bottom, and that's not what we need.
Yeah.
The world definitely needs more people like you as well to be able to keep things moving, because I think that there's an element of being fearless, but at the same time pragmatic and experienced. You know, you've probably been through a cycle or two. You went through 2008 if you've been running already 20 years.
Absolutely.
And you came out largely unscathed. You probably see what happened to those people. Even if you haven't necessarily been through those things, that's what the history books are there for. That's what now YouTube and all it's all well documented. So you can do your research, see what went wrong, see what they did that caused them to go under, and try and avoid to make the same mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and the other thing that I would say is, if you look back into the history, and I was interestingly looking at a survey report, evaluation from a surveyor that was done like 3 years back, and the guy was saying, 3.5 years back, and the guy was saying, oh, because of Brexit, there's a lot of uncertainty. I cannot really put a good value on the property because of the market uncertainty. I was like laughing, look. And then there was another survey done around COVID times, and the guy was like, a lot of uncertainty, COVID is around the corner, it's happening, we don't know what's going to happen. And now there was another survey done recently, and I was looking at that guy saying, oh, too much volatility in the market, we don't know what's happening, Ukraine war. There's always going to be something, isn't it?
There's the clauses that these valuers put in. You've got the Brexit clause, you've got the COVID clause, you've got the mini budget clause, you've got every clause in this, and every year or two that they have a caveat.
And they will always be. When was there no market uncertainty ever? You know, since 2008, we've been waiting. Oh yeah, 2018, 10-year cycle. You know, we used to have these 10-year recession cycles, yeah?
Of course.
2018 onwards, yeah, recession is going to happen. Then Brexit happened, then COVID happened, and now maybe recession is going to happen, is what they're saying. But my advice, again, would be, let's keep moving forward.